Hello and welcome to Saturday Night Crafty. My name is Sasha Reed. If you've not seen me before, I like to do technique tutorials for you and show you some cool stuff each Saturday night. Tonight is all about making our own sort of background stamps. Now, I was sat at my desk, I wanted a background stamp to make some cards, and I don't really have that much in my stash at the moment. And I was scrolling through scrapbook.com and looking, and I really want some cool background stamps that have dimension and layers and character to them. A little bit like the ones that you're seeing here on the screen, especially the flower ones that kind of layer over each other. Those ones are just so stunning and beautiful. Like this one here from Gina K. I love that. I love how that looks. But, you know, £19 a stamp and I want like 30 of them. That's not really practical. I find it really hard to spend a huge chunk of money on just one stamp and then not knowing if I'm going to get heaps and heaps of use out of that one stamp. So I thought for tonight's tutorial and technique, I would show you how you can make your own sort of background layered dimensional stamp. So we are going to take stamp sets that are probably already in our stash and we're going to create our own little background stamp. I'm going to share with you two different cards and sort of two different variations. So the first one I'm going to use the scrapbook.com set. It has the stamps and it has the dies. Scrapbook.com tend to do really nice reasonable ones on their own products. So that works really well. And I'm using Gina K's Masking Magic. Now, whatever masking paper you've got in your stash will probably do. If you haven't got any, you could use bits of paper, but I do find something sticky is best. And I find Post-it note bleeds a little bit. So if you're using ink on top of it, you might get bleeding through it. Whereas the Gina K Masking Magic, I don't know, it's expensive, but it's worth every penny, and I love this stuff, and I can't seem to find anything else that works just as good, that doesn't bleed through, that is really, really low tack. So I'm using the Gina K Masking Magic, and I love it. I don't know of any other kinds that are as good. If you do know some, pop it in the comments below. I'd love to know any more brands that are just as good as this, but this is fab. If you have not got dies that match your stamp set, then don't worry, you can always fussy cut it out. It might take a little bit longer, but it is just as effective. Actually, it might even be a little bit more effective. My dies from the scrapbook.com set, they kind of have an outline around it, so you get a bit of an extra white layer, whereas if you fussy cut it yourself, you can get nice and tight and close to that image. So to create your own mask, all you need to do is stamp it down on your piece of masking paper and then fussy cut around it. And the easiest way to fussy cut is to move the paper and not your scissors. And you will find that it'll be much easier to get around that image and a lot quicker around that image. I'm lazy, so I like a stamp set that comes with dies, so I don't have to do this. So I chose specifically a stamp set in my stash that did have dies, so I didn't have to fussy cut everything. I cut everything out once, but I do go ahead and off screen cut another couple flowers just so I've got another couple masks of the ones that I stamped quite a bit. So I'm going to start with my biggest images first to make sure I've got those on my paper and I don't miss out on the chance to have that full image shining through. You could also pick your favorite stamp out of your set, out of that collection that you like the most, and stamp that first. This is going to be our base layer. This is going to be the bit that's going to be seen the most on your card front. So I've gone ahead and stamped the biggest one, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sort of next size down, and I'm trying to make sure that I stamp every one of those stamps at least once as a full image before I go ahead and put masks on and stamp sort of the next layer and next level of stamping. So once I've got my base stamps down and I've got some space spaced around them, I'm going to go ahead and add my masks on the top of some of those images and kind of work my way down the card. So I'm going to try and do sort of one area at a time, and this is where I'm going to add in some of those leaves so it looks like they're coming out from under the flower. And I literally am just taking those masks and shifting them wherever I need to shift them to fill all the white space in. So I wanted a nice full background with not a lot of white space going on. So I am making sure that I am moving my masks about and then adding loads of stamps in the in-betweens of all those original stamps. Oh gosh, I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm really tongue-tied tonight and I apologize. So again, those masks have shifted. It looks like a hot mess, but once I pick up the mask, you can see how gorgeous it looks underneath. And you can see with these scrapbook.com dies, they are slightly wider than the stamps. They're not nice and tight. The next set that I use, which is the Gina K set, does go a lot tighter and a lot closer to that original image, which then means you don't have sort of a white edge between your stamps. However, even with that little border around the stamps, it does work, and I do like how it looks. I love the end result. It's really beautiful. Now, one thing to bear in mind when you're lifting up those masking papers is that that ink on the top of them will be slightly tacky, so just make sure that you're aware that when you're putting your fingers in it, you're not getting the ink kind of smudging around your card. So there you can see that kind of white edge around where that flower was stamped, but I love how it turned out. I think it's really cute and beautiful. The next one I'm going to do is we're going to kind of do like a layered sort of background. So I'm getting all of my solid images out first. So this is a nice stamp set that does layer. It's got sort of a base background and then the more detailed stamp to go on top of it. So I picked out some colors that I liked. I got my stamps next to them so I knew which ones I wanted to do in which colors. And then I die cut out the matching shapes with the Gina K Masking Magic paper. Now I'm going ahead and doing the exact same thing again, where I'm kind of going in with that largest stamp first and kind of filling in some of that white space. And then I come in with my Gina K Masking Magic and put it over the top and start adding my next layers. Now, this is where you should do as I say and not as I'm doing. The ideal situation would be then to stamp your next level of stamping before you remove any of the masks. It will just save you so much more time. However, I had about 5 stamp blocks on my desk, and I needed 5 more for the sort of layering bits of it. So I ended up stamping all my images, and then I went back and re-stamped the second phase of those images. However, you do then have to put all those masking papers back exactly where you had put them in the original time to get this next layer on. So if you're doing a layered stamp like this, then do your second layer at the same time as your first layer, and it will save you a lot of a headache. So here you can see I'm coming in with that second layer and adding the little extra details, and I'm doing them all in black so that the black is kind of coordinating the whole card together. But again, I'm having to move and shift those masks around as I go to try and make sure that I don't end up stamping black where it shouldn't be, because I had a mask there in the first place. And these masks are really nice. They're really nice and tight to that original image, so you get a really, really good cover. So here's my end result on this one. I feel like it would have been a little bit tidier if I had done my 2 stampings together at the same time rather than one and then the other. But I'm really happy with the end result, and I feel like I got a really beautiful background stamped image without having to spend any extra money, without having to buy an extra expensive large background stamp that I might not use that often. Don't get me wrong, I will buy some background stamps. I do love them and I have to buy them every so often. But right now is not the time. Right now is not when we've got the money for it. So we've created our own tonight. I kept the finish on my cards really simple. And for this one, I just stamped Happy Birthday and die cut it out. Another scrapbook.com sentiment set that I absolutely love. Popped it up with a bit of foam tape, and that's all I'm doing with this one. No extra dimension, no nothing else. I love how it looks. The next one, I wanted to add one of these sentiments on. I got these little foiled sentiments from Pinkfresh Studios, and they've just got kind of something for everything in there, and it's great for when I'm lazy or when I've just spent ages having fun making backgrounds. So I went ahead and used one of those sentiments, popped up on foam, and then some of these holeless sequins as well around the card just to kind of finish it off. And I did change out the black cardstock from behind the panel, and I put in a holographic cardstock piece instead. And I will link the shop that I get my holographic card from as well down in my description box if you're looking for some really nice holographic card. They do ship worldwide, so that's really good. Oh, and there's a discount code down there as well if you want it. So I hope you had fun tonight, and I hope you learned something new. Thank you so much for joining me. All my little links are down in the description box for you. Everything I used should hopefully be there as well. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care. Bye.